Now we move on to Venezuela. A prominent Venezuelan opposition politician was reportedly kidnapped in Caracas yesterday night, just after hours after his release from prison. Juan Pablo Guanipa, a close ally of opposition leader and Nobel Peace Prize winner Maria Corina Machado, has been freed after spending more than 8 months in custody on accusations of leading a terrorist plot. Shortly after his release, Guanipa appeared before journalists and supporters, calling for the release of other political prisoners and also sharply criticizing the current administration's legitimacy. However, later that night, his son reported that around 10 heavy-armed unidentified men seized him in a residential area of the capital. Machado and family members have urged authorities to provide proof of life as concern grows over his disappearance. The Venezuelan government has not immediately responded to requests for comment over his kidnapping. Now we welcome retired Major General Siddhakarji. He is joining us live from Jaipur. Thank you very much, Major General, for staying with us. Now, looking at this, who are we, or what are we to make of this situation, and who are we supposed to point fingers at? Is it the interim government, and how do you think it would be shaping her public opinion or her opinion of the public and legitimacy towards her?
See, Soma, you see, your guess is as good as mine. In absence of any tangible and substantive evidence and input, we will be left with no option but to speculate and carry out some kind of a broad assessment based on whatever is available and prevalent in Venezuela. Venezuela, after Maduro was hijacked, Maduro and his wife, has gone through a very gradual and subtle shift in its stance. And to say that they're actually become, the leanings have actually become more inclined towards Donald Trump is not incorrect, is not an understatement. So the same leftist party from 99 till 2026 until Maduro was hijacked, if for 26 or 27 years, if the entire country has been subjected to some kind of governance or with leaning towards leftist party, and suddenly they come under duress from USA expected to change their governance style and making people pro-America, actually would entail some kind of a strategic shift in the entire policy and the environment. That is the bigger picture. Number two, there are large number of political prisoners who have been released at the behest or at the orders or directions of United States, and these political prisoners are the prisoners, opposing leaders and pressmen, etc., who had been arrested by Maduro during his regime and his preceding regime and had been put in the jail. Now, if they have been released, and the opposition leader, a very prominent, this gentleman who's been actually surrounded by the gunman and been hijacked, he is a very, very prominent figure. If he has been picked up by unknown gunman, and my only guess is that it could be that the leftist regime is feeling left out and unable to digest the way America has invaded into Venezuela and started putting pressure on the vice president to change her stance and also toe the line of American policies and principles, and also give up the oil refineries or the oil fields to the American companies. So to say that while she is under pressure, she is playing her cards very calibratedly, but the people on the ground who actually were affiliated and the ecosystem who was supporting the leftist party Maduro, ecosystem, when I say they have a strong armed forces, although the strength is low, the rank and file of the armed forces, the security apparatus, they were hand in gloves with Maduro. You never know, it could be that one. The third and the last point which is coming to my mind is that this country also has been subject to a lot of inter-gang rivalry. It could be a kind of a manifestation of the intergang rivalry, which is not allowing this opposition leader, because this man who has been picked up by the unknown gunman has got a lot of popularity. There are strong followers, large number of followers of him. If he comes to the lead role, then perhaps things will become very difficult for the vice president. So therefore, or the officiating president. Therefore, the people are doing their job as deemed appropriate. They have felt that it is a threat to the vice president, and they have taken him away to unknown place, and time will tell us as to what purpose and what objective and what intent. Back to you, Asu.
Now, moving the focus from the vice president to Maria Corina Machado, who's supposedly his aide. So, what strategic challenges does she face, amid all these things that's coming out or evolving, and how can the attention that she's getting through all this, how can she shift it or use it for her sustained political power?
Yeah, correct. You see, Marino Cuccido, that she does not enjoy that much of popular, although she is the opposition leader. The
Yes.
fact of the matter remains that she is not able to rally people around her, and that is the difference between the vice president and the opposition leader. So that is one aspect. Second aspect is, for all you know, this may have been done with an aim to bridge the gap because of a polarized environment. Perhaps gradually, America sooner or later would like Marino to, replace the vice president in some form. Or vice president may take over as the president, but there are lots of ifs and buts, because the vice president Delcy has more than once has communicated in some form or the other, which are indicative of very hardened kind of stance towards US's expectations. So, because she's, although trying to balance out the relationship, but she is finding it very difficult between the left regime, the Maduro's regime, and the governance style and the expectations of the America. So perhaps America is playing the cards very deftly. Sooner or later, the opposition leader, that is Marino, is going to come into the political arena under the leadership of the vice president. This is one of the options. Second option could be to replace the vice president, which is not possible because the people's popularity is not the cake of Marino. And third and most important thing is that the inter-gang rivalry is a very dangerous thing which is happening. If that takes place, the Venezuela incidentally has got a youth bulge as well. The Gen Z, which is prevailing all over the world, can also spread into Venezuela. So that is the danger mark which USA has to mark, and they have to play their cards very close to the chest. Back to you, Asu.
With that, I would like to thank Major General Sudakarji for sharing that insight with us on NewsX World. Thank you very much.